So as I was pointing out, we have the two colors here that are separated, and if I wanted to recolor this object to something else, if I do the contiguous ones, it'll only do, whoops, I accidentally had that face selected. I might go with something a lot more obvious. It'll only do the contiguous ones if I hold down the Control key, but if I hold down the Shift key, it will do all the faces that have the exact same color settings. So that's kind of nice. Anyway, we have other materials that we can apply, so you can always go back to Home. These are showing me what colors are used in the model right now, or they are ones that I have applied at different times. And then I can also see what other materials that I have here that are actually based upon photos. So let's say that I want to use a metal roof, and I want to go to this metal seamed and apply it there. You'll see that that texture is now being applied to this. Now, if I zoom in, I can kind of see what the texture looks like, but you might notice with curved surfaces, materials like this don't do very well. It's going to do usually better on a flat surface than on another type of surface. So we have some sort of like crazy, I don't know, like metal roof type thing going on, and I never gave the back that color, but oh well. Anyway, I'd like to edit this material, so I'm going to go to it, and you'll see there's the metal seam.jpg image that it's using. Now I can actually edit this material in something like XNView. I can do things like adjust the levels of it, so maybe I'll make it a little bit brighter, a little bit more contrasty. And then if I save that or close this, go back to SketchUp, you'll see it does indeed have that particular material edited. Now you could, of course, use something like Photoshop. So right now XNView is my default image for instead of Photoshop, it's the default image editor. So you just have to set that up. Now you can also do things like browse for other images. So these are maybe the images that are actually in here already. It's kind of cool. I have no idea where those are from, but they're kind of fun. These are mostly cloudy PNGs. So now I've just applied a transparent PNG to that object, which is kind of wild. Didn't really know I could do that. But let's say that we want to find a texture instead. I'm going to go to Stu Data, DME Courses, DME 230, find the texture maps, and I've got a bunch of different ones here. So here's like some metal ones. So if I view these by thumbnail, maybe I'll be able to find a metal here that I like better. So there's one, a bomber metal. I'll hit OK, and now we've got a different photo texture applied to that. Now if you want to make your find other materials like this, other photo materials, be aware that you need a tileable material, and there's lots of places where you can find that stuff. Now I just did a very simple Google search, and I found this website which has all these different materials that these are all loopable bitmap graphics. This is another website that has daily textures that are all tileable. And so I can have a wood roof or something like that, and then I can download that image. It is kind of interesting that this image is at a weird size, though. That's something to be aware of. And I could even make some, and this is a website where I found where you can try out different software, or you can download some different software, like this Genetica viewer, which I think is kind of cool. Or you can take Photoshop tools. So I just did a quick seamless textures with Photoshop in Google, and I found a tutorial here which is a video tutorial, and another one which is a written tutorial. And it basically says to open up an image, to create a duplicate of it so that you have it tileable in the center, and then to fix the center. And once you fix the center, this is what you come up with. And here's the difference between a non-tileable texture and a tileable texture. They definitely look better. But I did try out the software here, this Genetica viewer, and I thought this was kind of cool. So I'll open up a texture. I opened up this texture. I can change things about it, change the brightness, contrast, intensity, and then I can render that out and see what it looks like. The nice thing about this software is it allows me to kind of zoom in and see how that texture works. And you can see this one is not great because it has a pattern. So I could go back to a different one, adjust that texture, render it out. So here it is. Render out the texture, and usually we render out textures to square formats that are tileable. So that's just something to be aware of, and then bring it back in.